behind what you want to do. Don't just imagine it happening. Imagine yourself making it happen, Dean said as he left. I closed my eyes again as soon as Dean set his mind to building a grill and cooking some hamburgers. To my surprise, his parting words of advice were exactly what I needed. I'd closed my eyes to focus, so I wasn't really sure what had changed or when. But when I opened my eyes again, the stone was a solid sphere of diamond as large as my fist. It worked. I actually did it. I had taken an ordinary rock and imposed my will on it. Through the sheer force of concentration, I had taken what was and replaced it with what I thought it should be. I shot to my feet in giddy excitement. I hadn't been this thrilled with myself since shooting my stone spike spell. I admired the diamond a moment before tossing it into my dimensional storage. I'd show it off later. For now, I wanted to see if I could do it again. So I snatched another stone up from the ground at my feet and set it in my lap. I tried my best to think the same thoughts I'd been pondering before, and sure enough, when I opened my eyes, the rock was the deep yellow of solid gold. Heavier, too, I muttered as I tossed the gold in my hand. My earth seal penetrated it, and I knew it was pure all the way down to the core. A few more tests, and I could perform the feat without closing my eyes. The transformation was gradual at first, like a ripple washing over the surface of a lake. As the ripple passed, the substance behind it changed from what it was to what I wanted it to be. Now, this was real magic. I did find that I was unfortunately limited with what I could make. Minerals were easy, probably because of my earth affinity. Gemstones, too, came naturally, so I could make all the iron I needed now with just a quick trip to the primordial world, or uranium for the reactors for that matter. Other things were harder. No matter how hard I concentrated on a rock, I couldn't make a butterfly, nor a computer chip, even though the latter should have been possible since I could make crystals of silicone just fine. I thought I was using the wrong source material, so I plucked a few strands of nearby wild grass and tried to change them. No luck. Worse, changing the grass into anything but the grass was incredibly difficult. I couldn't manage to turn it into anything fancy without a lot of effort. After more experimentation, I found the best solution for me was to take the strand of grass, turn it into this plain, mottled gray stone, then turn that into whatever I wanted. Eventually, I turned the strands into a set of solid ruby spikes as long as my arm. Perhaps someone in the hearthwood could find a use for them. I went to fetch Dean. I found him chopping firewood around the corner with his axe, which was a tough thing in the primordial world. The trees here made what we had back home seem like twigs by comparison. Even a demigod like Dean had to put his back into splitting a log here. Ready to go? And here I was, setting up the campfire. I thought I'd catch a few fish or something, and we could relive those days you missed while you were napping. Dean pointed to a few sharpened sticks around the campfire. Heck, I could even reheat that one I saved for you. Or we could go back to the hearthwood and get a proper meal cooked by any number of professional chefs, I said. Let's just head home. My treat. Dean sighed and picked up the logs he'd split for firewood. They would no doubt be some sort of heavenly treasure back on the world of sanctuary and serenity, thanks to their incredible strength and exotic powers from growing in the primordial world. But Dean would probably just burn them for firewood. We returned home, and as promised, I treated Dean to lunch. He'd helped me quite a bit lately, and I owed him for everything he'd set into motion for when I eventually emerged from the Wanderer. We had a good time, and I nearly forgot my next appointment of the day. She must have figured out where I was from Mac, because she came to the restaurant and sat down beside us just as Dean finished devouring a massive molten chocolate lava cake. The thing was the size of his body, and yet he ate every bite in minutes and licked the plate clean. I turned to the instructor for my next appointment. She was taller than most elves, and more beautiful too, though I knew I was biased. Her shining, silvery hair hung straight down her back, contrasting sharply with the tight black outfit she wore halfway between leather armor and a dress. She had a blue sword on one hip, and her full lips were pulled into a smile. "Hello, Tavana. We won't be much longer," I promised. Dean blinked at his empty plate, frowning. I nudged him, and he turned to look at Tavana. He broke into a smile as soon as he saw his granddaughter. It was strange to think my friend had...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.